Fast food is often thought to be made miles away from the North Country, but surprisingly, an essential ingredient used by corporations is made right here in upstate New York. In St. Lawrence County alone, there are over 1,000 dairy farms and over 74,000 cattle and calves, producing upwards of 1 billion pounds of milk annually. But who runs all these operations? In small farms, families. But in big farms, immigrants from Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, and Honduras. This is because they require very little pay. Many workers have little to no documentation. In 2018 alone, around 200 illegal immigrants were deported from St. Lawrence County, but only a few stories broke the news. To find out more about the conditions of the dairy farms, we contacted 2 legal immigrant workers to hear more.
Why did you come to northern New York of all places?
So I did not choose that. Like, that was not like a choice, like, oh, I want to go there. No, it was the opportunity.
What is your daily schedule like? Like, what do you do in your job every day?
So my schedule is 6 to 6, but you get there at 6 a.m. and you leave, or you should leave at 6 p.m. So it's a 12-hour shift.
Could you explain a little bit about the milking process of the cows?
It's basically cows come in, they relax for like 30 seconds before you start cleaning the teeth. You clean it, you wet it, disinfect it, you wipe it off with a tissue, and then you put the machines on.
What problems do you face every day in the work?
One of them obviously is sick animals, right? You have to deal with cows being ill or something going on with them. 2 would be, in a dairy business, you have to depend on people, right? So when it's really cold or if it's snowing and you have complications to get to work, you got to deal with that people might not show up to work.
Okay. Hola a todos, aquí les saluda Mariano Macario Hernández.
Describe tu día a diario, lo que haces en el día.
Pues yo trabajo en puchar comida a las vacas y muevo las vaquitas a sus casitas y limpio sus camas a las vacas y pucho vaca también y le doy pachas a las vaquitas.
¿Por qué viniste al norte de Nueva York?
Ok, yo vine aquí al norte de Nueva York porque en mi país hay mucha violencia y bueno, no hay mucho trabajo y a veces hay trabajo pero le pagan muy poquito a uno y tengo familia y es por lo mismo me vine aquí al norte de Nueva York a luchar por ellos y a salir adelante, a tener algo más mejor.
¿Cuáles son los valores más importantes para ti?
Mi trabajo, mi salud, es eso, todo.
After hearing the immigrant workers' individual perspective, we then contacted a local that had the opportunity to work with many of these immigrants across over 40 North Country farms.
What is your relationship to the migrant workers?
My relationship with the migrant workers is that I am an aid to them. I am available when they need it. So I do translations, especially most for medical purpose.
How do you think that this relationship has made you more conscious about where your food comes from?
Well, just sometimes the condition of the farms, mostly animals. It's a maxic production, so I come from a third world country, so we take care of our animals in a different way. And this operation here in the United States is so big and sometimes so overwhelmed to see for myself.
To your knowledge, what are the conditions like at the worst farms for the workers there?
I think the only experience perhaps that I have is 5 years ago with a farm in Lisbon. The conditions were poorly for the workers, but I think somebody alerted the authorities, so the owners decide to release all the workers.
Many of these workers, as it turns out, are here simply because the opportunity is better than in their home countries. The days are hard and long. But as the workers say, it is a job and an opportunity, which is better than nothing. To find out more about how much the public knows about these farms, we talked to some local school teachers about their awareness and how fast food affects their lives.
Do you know where the dairy you consume comes from?
I think that most of our dairy around here comes from the area or nearby.
How aware are you of the working conditions on the milk farms for the workers there?
Well, milk farming is tough. I live right across the street from Norco. Norco, I believe, is milking over 800 cows a day.
Can you think of any feasible solutions for migrant workers?
Well, we've had some incidents in St. Lawrence County here of farmers hiring illegal immigrants and that. First of all, if you can't get American workers, you have to get some workers. So I do think that we should have more legal work permits that can be granted to immigrants.
How does fast food affect your family's life, or in general your life?
Well, right now I'm raising my 7-year-old grandson, so he does like fast food, and we do it. We do it, but we try and pare it down to a couple times a week.
How aware are you of the working conditions on the milk farms around the North Country in St. Lawrence County?
Well, I don't know how aware I am, but my guess is that the working conditions aren't good. The migrants, because they're not legal citizens, they have to kind of hide from the government, which means they can't complain about being treated badly. The way to solve the problem is to give them the rights that a citizen would have, but yet they're not citizens, so I really don't know what the answer is.
Do you know where the dairy you consume comes from?
Well, what comes from?
The dairy you consume.
Not really.
How has fast food affected your life?
I've had a Whopper here and there over the years. I don't know. I haven't eaten at McDonald's in probably about 30 or 40 years. I went to the Asian buffet this week actually, but I don't go that often. I ate a lot of broccoli, so I got health benefits out of it. I ate broccoli, stringy. I ate a lot of vegetables.
Why do you?
I ate a lot of vegetables. I ate some shrimp and some chicken, but a lot of vegetables. I didn't have any beef.
What do you know about where your milk products come from usually?
What do I know about it? I'm
anything?
a careful shopper, so I look and I see where it's from, and I try to get organic.
How aware are you of the working conditions on the farms?
It depends which farm. If you're talking the small farmer, like I said, my best friend, and I brought my grandkids, I brought my in-laws to her farm to check out their dairy farm. So, but they're different. Farmer to farmer is different, and the standards and the qualities are different. And then you go to John Greenworth or the bigger farms in this area, they're totally different, run totally differently. I will admit, when I was a single mom and I had to go to the Bay and I go through Ogdensburg, I stopped to have my 3 kids stop fighting in the van at McDonald's or Burger King. So I was naughty back then for a little bit, yeah.
How aware are you of the working conditions that the people who make this milk, how they are?
Well, I know quite a bit of farmers. Grew up around a lot of them when I grew up, and I know a lot of them out in West Stockholm, but honestly, so I know those guys, like Barcomb's, Deckers, and all them, but when I go to buy a gallon of milk in the store, I probably have no idea what farm that came from.
What do you believe the appeal of fast food is for people, and how does it appeal to you at all?
Honestly, a lot of times I don't want a lot of preparation. I don't want to take a lot of time to meal. I just want to get something, and so I'll 2 for $6 at Burger King, where we used to eat to live. Now we live to eat.
Next, we decided to see what customers at Potsdam McDonald's had to say.
How important to you is it to know where your food comes from?
It's semi-important, but I mean, when it comes to McDonald's, it's I know, like, okay, I'm not gonna try to act like I know what's happening. It's McDonald's, so I just eat whatever when I'm here.
Do you know where the dairy you consume comes from?
I have no idea, honestly, no idea.
So, how important is it for you to know where the food you consume comes from here?
It's important to a certain degree, but like a multi-billion-dollar company, I mean, I'd trust it enough that I'm not going to die or anything.
Do you know anything about the dairy farms in St. Lawrence County?
I have no idea.
Is it important to you to know where your food comes from?
It probably should be, but like, not really for me.
Okay. How aware are you of the working conditions on milk farms around here?
Not like really knowledgeable about it at all.
Needless to say, working on farms in the North Country is hard business. Even though typically the quality of life is higher here than in other countries, the conditions are still pretty bad. As for where the dairy produced ends up, products from any given fast food restaurant in the United States may be made of dairy ingredients in St. Lawrence County. Fortunately, there is a way to find out if any given product is. Each product in the United States has a dairy code on it. By visiting whereismymilkfrom.com, one can plug in the code and see exactly what farm the milk is from. In conclusion, the fast food industry has an extremely large effect on the North Country. Currently, over 2,000 residents work on dairy farms, a significant amount being immigrants. This does not include undocumented workers for obvious reasons. Next time you see a friend, let them know about the near 1 billion pounds of milk that are being produced in St. Lawrence County every year, and about some of the background on how it is made.
Yo entré